Welcome back to ECOSTRESS tutorials. This tutorial will teach you how to use a Python code to create a composite ECOSTRESS image. Let's start by making sure we have everything we need downloaded. First, I downloaded this composite code from the ECOSTRESS tutorials GitHub. I'll make sure to put a link to this in the description. Next, we need our data. It's best practice to use input data that has already been QC'd or cloud masked in order to improve accuracy. If your ECOSTRESS images are not QC'd or cloud masked, you can use our Applying QC Flags tutorial or our Cloud Masking tutorial to set them up for this tutorial. Alternatively, if you have QC'd or cloud masked in a different way, you can still use this code, but you may need to change some of the date-time extraction parts of the code to match your input file's naming structure. Now, let's right-click to create a new project folder. Name it accordingly. Now, let's move our code and our input data into the project folder. Next, let's open up the project folder and right-click to create a new folder to store the composite outputs. Name it accordingly. Now that we have our folder set up, let's open Visual Studio Code. At the top, select File, Open Folder, and get connected to your project folder. Select Open. In the Explorer tab, find the composite code and click on it to open it. It should look something like this. If you want to know more about what each line of code does, look for the comments. Comments are these lines of code that are in green with a hashtag in front of them. Comments do not affect how the code is run, but they do provide information for readers. Let's find this section of the code titled Define Input and Output Locations and List Files. Look for this variable titled Input Directory, and find the text that says Replace this text with folder path. Let's do so by getting the Input Directory folder path. Go to the Explorer tab and get the Input Directory folder path by right-clicking on it and selecting Copy Path. Remember, we want to make sure it's a QC'd or cloud masked file. Paste it in by pressing Command V. Make sure that there's still an R in front and that it's wrapped in quotes. Next, find the variable titled Output Directory. Once again, let's go to the Explorer tab and find the Output folder. Right-click on it and select Copy Path. Now paste it in. Once again, let's make sure it says R at the front and it's wrapped in quotes. Then, find the section of the code titled Create a Median Composite of the Images. Find the variable that says Output File Path and find this section that says Replace this text with file name .tiff. You can name the file whatever you may like. Just make sure it ends in .tiff and that it's wrapped in quotes. Now the code should be set up to run with your desired images. Scroll back up to the top and find the section that says Import Necessary Libraries. Click into the first box of code and press Shift and Enter to run. At the top, it will prompt you to select a Python environment. Click on Python Environments and then select the ECOSTRESS environment, or whatever environment you would like to use for this project. It will run for a few seconds and you will know it's done when a green check mark appears. Continue this process of running each block of code in order from top to bottom by clicking in the code and pressing Shift and Enter to run. The final block of code will save the composite to your output folder and it will display it in the code for a quick viewing. To make sure it has been saved correctly, go to the composite output folder and make sure the file is present. You now have a composite of all of your ECOSTRESS images. Thank you for watching this ECOSTRESS tutorial. I hope you found it helpful. For more trainings, tutorials, and information, including a written version of this tutorial and its associated code, go to ecostress.jpl.nasa.gov/documents, which will be linked in the description.